Ingolstadt,
said Fuck-Up. Hagbard had programmed the machine to converse in reasonably good English this week.
The largest rock festival in the history of mankind, the largest temporary gathering of human beings ever assembled, will take place near Ingolstadt on the shore of Lake Totenkopf. 2 million young people from all over the world are expected. The American Medical Association will play.
Did you know or suspect before this that the American Medical Association, Wolfgang, Werner, Wilhelm, and Winifred Sauer are 4 of the Illuminati Primi?
Asked Hagbard.
They were on a list, but 14th in order of probability,
said Fuck-Up.
Perhaps some of the other groups I suspected are Illuminati Veri.
Can you now state the nature of the crisis that we will face this week?
There was a pause.
There were 3 crises for this month, plus several sub-crises designed to bring the 3 major crises to a peak. The first was Fernando Poo. The world nearly went to war over the Fernando Poo coup, but the Illuminati had a counter-coup in reserve, and that resolved the problem satisfactorily. Heads of state are human, and this feint has helped to make them jumpier and more irrational. They are in no shape to react wisely to the next 2 jolts. Unless you wish me to continue discussing the character structures of the present heads of state, which are important elements in the crises through which the world is passing, I will proceed to the next crisis. This is Las Vegas. I still do not know exactly what is going on there, but the sickness vibrations are still coming through strongly. There is, I have deduced from recently acquired information, a bacteriological warfare research center located in the desert somewhere near Las Vegas. One of my more mystical probes came up with the sentence, "The ace in the hole is poisoned candy." But that's one of those things we probably won't understand until we find out what's going on in Las Vegas by more conventional means.
I've already dispatched Muldoon and Goodman there,
said Hagbard.
All right, Fuck-Up. Obviously, the 3rd crisis is Ingolstadt. What's going to happen at that rock festival?
They intend to use the Illuminati science of strategic biomysticism. Lake Totenkopf is one of Europe's famed bottomless lakes, which means it has an outlet into the underground Sea of Valusia. At the end of World War II, Hitler had an entire SS division in reserve in Bavaria. He was planning to withdraw to Obersalzberg and with this fanatically loyal division make a glorious last stand in the Bavarian Alps. Instead, the Illuminati convinced him that he still had a chance to win the war, if he followed their instructions. Hitler, Himmler and Bormann fed cyanide to all the troops, killing several thousand of them. Then their bodies, dressed in full field equipment, were placed by divers on a huge underground plateau near where the Sea of Valusia surfaces as Lake Totenkopf. Their boots were weighted at the bottom so that they would stand at attention. The airplanes, tanks and artillery assigned to the division were also weighted and sunk along with the troops. Many of them, by the way, knew that there was cyanide in their last supper, but they ate it anyway. If the Führer thought it best to kill them, that was good enough for them.
I can't imagine there would be much left of them after over 30 years,
said Hagbard.
You are wrong as usual, Hagbard,
said Fuck-Up.
The SS men were placed under a biomystical protective field. The entire division is as good as it was the day it was placed there. Of course, the Illuminati had tricked Hitler and Himmler. The real purpose of the mass sacrifice was to provide enough explosively released consciousness energy to make it possible to translate Bormann to the immortal energy plane. Bormann, one of the Illuminati primi of his day, was to be rewarded for his part in organising World War II. The 50 million violent deaths of that war helped many Illuminati to achieve transcendental illumination, and were most pleasing to their elder brothers and allies, the Loigor.
And what will happen at Ingolstadt during the festival?
The American Medical Association's 5th number at Woodstock Europa will send out biomystical waves that will activate the Nazi legions in the lake and send them marching up the shore. They will be, in their resurrection, endowed with supernormal strength and energy, making them almost impossible to kill. And they will achieve even greater powers as a result of the burst of consciousness energy that will be released when they massacre the millions of young people on the shore. Then, led by the Sauers, they will turn against Eastern Europe. The Russians, already made extremely nervous by the Fernando Po incident, will think an army is attacking them from the west. Their old fear that Germany will once again, with the help of the capitalist powers, rise up and attack Russia and slaughter Russians for the 3rd time in this century will become a reality. They will find that conventional weapons will not stop the resurrected Nazis. They will believe they are up against some new kind of American super weapon, that the Americans have decided to launch a sneak attack. The Russians will then start bringing super weapons of their own into play. Then the Illuminati will play their ace in the hole in Las Vegas, whatever that is.
The voice of the computer, coming from Hagbard's Polynesian teakwood desk, was suddenly silent.
What happens after that?
Said Hagbard, leaning forward tensely. George saw perspiration on his forehead.
It doesn't matter what happens after that,
said Fuck-Up.
If the situation develops as I project, the eschaton will have been immanentized. For the Illuminati, that will mean the fulfillment of the project that has been their goal since the days of Gruard. A total victory. They will all simultaneously achieve transcendental illumination. For the human race, on the other hand, that will be extinction. The end.